I should pay you guys the compliments first. It is one of the most loveliest and unloveliest records. How do you say that? It's an intense record, and I think that's always sort of the notes on this record. It's like the balance you guys have caught with the intensity of what's going on vocally and lyrically, and then the beauty of what's going on in the music. How do you find that balance? Where does that come from? Is it even a discussion that you guys talk about?
It's not really a discussion. I think a lot of it naturally presents itself in Adrienne's writing. Just in like the way musically, there's always like such an ear for like melody and stuff like that just comes naturally. It's just like a part of the way she writes to me. But also like no subject is like untouchable. Like Adrienne, in my experience, I've just has this focus and intensity where it's like, of course, the song can be about anything, and the beauty and the ugly stuff, it's like there's a fine line between them, and there's a lot of overlap too. So like a lot of times it's like both all wrapped up into one song for me.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of get that feeling like you said you're not afraid to go after anything, because there's the intense moments on here. You're like, is there anything that you would shy away from to say, nah, that's not on the table. I can't go that far.
If something comes out honestly, I don't think that there's something that the moment that I had the feeling of no, that's too far. It's probably the moment that I would feel like, oh, that means that it's supposed to be on the record.
Right.
I mean, if it feels honest and it feels like it's presented in a really clear way, I don't know. I really can't say. It's also too hypothetical, because maybe there is something that I would uncover within myself that I wouldn't feel comfortable sharing. But I feel like also just in the way that everyone plays too, there's all this contrast, like the way that we play together when we're the freest, and just in terms of that as a record, I feel like there is like a lot of inherent contrast and juxtaposition in things. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like everyone's playing and everyone's energy that they bring to the music encompasses the whole spectrum. Like the ugly feelings are beautiful, like, and I think everyone embodies that.
Right. Very human. I mean, and I guess that's what it is, a very human record. I think the parts of the record that really that capture me right away, there are moments on this record that feel like demos. Like that was just the bare bone emotion of whatever was happening, and like, nope, that's the take we're using, that's what's going on the record. And again, that's sort of a curiosity. I mean, do demos make the record? Are these one-take things? Or is that more of like, this is how the shade of this song is to be, colored in? Like, what are those parts?
I think we really value the moment of birth in recording, and also in writing. Like, a lot of the songs we put on our two records were brand new. Like Masterpiece, for instance. Adrienne taught us Masterpiece like 3 minutes before we recorded it. And almost all the songs on Capacity were taught to the band the morning of recording them. Adrienne came with acoustic guitar in the morning and taught us the song, and then we came up with an arrangement and recorded in the evening generally. And in some cases we went back and made revisions, but we try to capture that moment of birth as much as possible, and instrumentally and also vocally. And observing Adrienne write too, I feel like one of the things that I really appreciate about Adrienne's writing process is that she just seems to let the music kind of write her. There's not a lot of filtering. That when something comes out, it usually like sticks,
I guess that's why it feels like also maybe that this was such a quick turnaround. Like, I know you guys, it's a little bit smoke and mirrors, because Masterpiece you'd set on those songs for a little bit, but it just seems so super quick. Like, oh, and here it is. Like, was there any downtime for you guys to live life, to define, all of this?
No. Next question. No, it's actually like most of the time on the road, and a lot of making and a lot of recording, like packed together. Like, so Masterpiece was recorded, and then like 6 months later we recorded Capacity, and so that was like in process for the last like year. And before we released Masterpiece, it was already recorded Capacity. So yeah, it was just like trying to pop them out, I suppose, and yeah, but there is really not a lot of downtime. It really is like a lot of shows, and so in that sense, we're kind of, I think at a certain point we realized that we're more like astronauts than musicians at this point, on a certain level, just because it's like an insane way of living,
Yeah.
and we need to learn that craft in order to like do it. Do it like feel good
Right.
in the making.
My hearts go out to you. It seems like an insane schedule, and to be able to produce this kind of art at this kind of pace, it's completely amazing. And I'll end with that title too, because the word capacity, and it's got a great cover art and everything. But that word, it almost feels like it's always followed by to love. A capacity to love.
Yeah, I mean, I think that feels good to me. Yeah, I think.
You're welcome.
I mean, love is used in a lot of different ways. Like the word is used in a lot of different ways, but I mean, at the core of it, I mean, yeah, that's what we're learning on the road, and I don't know, it's more so like self-acceptance and like openness and communication with each other, and this like choice to be on this journey together. I wasn't consciously thinking that capacity would kind of like be a good theme for this tour, but it's funny that it's come up time and time again that being on tour and being in this band is expanding my capacity as a human. And yeah, it's like transience, everything is always moving, it can be really challenging, but like nothing will expand capacity for patience and tenderness and love like being in a van with 3-4 people that that you're dedicated to being with and being friends with, and like so that means that everything that comes up is something we kind of just go okay, and we accept that it's come up, and no matter how difficult it is, we work through it with like this like real devotion to each other and to like the music and just our friendships and like our fans, and it's very expanding. It's like we've been growing a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy you guys are taking this astrological journey together. So thank you so much.